Hello everyone and welcome to the first edition of the Fantasy Football Hub FanTeam tutorial series. My name is Hibbo FPL and I'm joined today by FPL Nima. Well Nima, how did you enjoy your first monster tournament?
Yeah, I had a good tournament, thanks, Hibbo. So I actually got a 75 points, came 181st, and that netted me £65 profit. So I'm looking forward to using that to buy my entry into the Euro 2020 tournament. How about you? Are you looking to get involved in the Euro tournament?
It's a big prize pot now, £1 million guaranteed, 200,000 for the winner. Now I dipped my toe in a monster for the first time at the weekend. I came 47th. I had a profit of I think £198. So hopefully some of the tips that we're able to impart to the viewers today, they're going to be able to put on their practice and get themselves into the cash as well. So just to give our viewers a bit of a background, this is the first episode in the FanTeam tutorial series and the run up to the guaranteed £1 million Euro fantasy football tournament. So the series is going to be aimed very much at new players to the FanTeam game. Um, in this episode, we're going to run through scoring, so it's going to be very simple. It's very similar to FPL. So there's points for goals, assists, and clean sheets. Now, due to the similarities between the two games, FanTeam has huge crossover appeal for FPL players. So today, myself and Nima, we're going to explain the aspects of FanTeam which differ from FPL, so that those making the jump across can excel. I'm now going to pass you over to Nima. He's going to run us through general point scoring and explain the key differences between FPL we should be aware of.
Yeah, okay, let's jump straight into it then. So, in terms of general scoring, as you can see on the screen, so we have appearance points, which are 1 point for playing, and an extra point if you play 60 plus minutes. There's 3 points for an assist, so this is identical to FPL. There's captaincy, which doubles your points, or a vice captain in case they miss out altogether. The other kind of similarities are the -1 point for a yellow card, or a -3 points for a red card. A penalty miss is -2 points, and a own goal is -2 points. So again, all of these are identical to FPL. Now, there are actually also negative points awarded if your player causes a penalty or a free kick that does lead to a direct goal. So this is a slightly different method of scoring to FPL in FanTeam, and it means you're ideally going to want to avoid any players who are committing a lot of fouls or specifically conceding those fouls in dangerous positions that could lead to a goal. Another kind of major difference as well, one that I took a while to get my head around when I started playing FanTeam, was impact points. So this essentially means that if the team wins in the period that your player is on the pitch, they're going to get a +1 impact point. But if their team loses, you're going to get a -1 point. This point does lock in similar to clean sheets, I must say, from FPL. So to give you a real life example and bring this to life a little bit, if Brighton are winning 1-0 and then Trossard is substituted out in the 70th minute, should they then concede a goal, you're still going to get a +1 impact point from Trossard. However, on the flip side, if a player loses during the period they're on the pitch, you're actually going to receive a negative -1 impact point. Now, the reason this is so key is that impact points can actually boost your total score by 11 points, and you're going to want to be favoring the teams that are most likely to win, so you have the best odds of finishing in the money. Now, I actually look at the Fantasy Football Hub kind of prediction tools and the anytime returns from the bookies odds just to get an idea of which teams they're favoring for the weekend. How about you, Hiba? How did you find your kind of first monster this week, and what did you use to kind of make your decisions?
Well, I kind of used my own intuition. I built like a defensive stack where I had, in terms of defenders, a double down on Crystal Palace defenders and a double down on Burnley defenders. Now, people maybe would have thought that's a bit crazy, but my general thinking there was that I thought Crystal Palace were going to beat Sheffield United, and I fancied Burnley. They beat Fulham, so the point that you're making there about impact points, I think definitely ties in to that. Now, just for I'm going to touch on goalkeepers here. So in FanTeam, in terms of goalkeepers, there's a goalkeeper gets 8 points if they score a goal. So compared to six in the FPL, it's never going to be a factor unless Ederson starts rolling up to a penalty spot. So save points are slightly different, but they are actually a factor. So in FanTeam, there's a half point added for each save rather than 1 point for three saves. So it kind of removes in FanTeam, it removes that frustrating scenario where you're on two saves or you're on five saves and you're updating, refreshing Fantasy Premier League, waiting for that extra save coming through. So this system's a lot more fair. So if we can identify a goalkeeper that's going to make a lot of saves, that don't concede many goals and won their majority of their games, I think we've found a gem. Now it's worth bearing in mind that if a goalkeeper concedes two goals, they're deducted a point. Now that's similar to FPL, the same as FPL.
I guess on that note as well, I saw that you'd picked Nick Pope for your monster, and I'd picked Gator, and you actually ended up getting quite a lot more points than I did, thanks to exactly what you're saying, and the save points kind of giving you that half a point, which is a lot fairer, I think, compared to FPL.
It's kind of interesting because like I looked at my point total for the monster, and it's funny when you see your point total is like 81.5. It's
Takes getting used to, eh?
definitely.
I guess just looking at some more differences then. So another major difference is actually there is an extra point for midfielders and attackers who do play a full match. I do want to clarify though that this is the full match, so it's not just 90 minutes. They can't be substituted out. So I would say, this could be used as a tiebreaker when you're stuck between one player or another, and you want to pick which one is more likely to play a full game. This could be again 4 to 6 points difference, and that could be all that you need to finish in the money in a weekly monster tournament.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think another interesting point that I've kind of picked up between the two games is the lack of bonus points, as we can see in the graphic on the screen now at the minute. So I think when you're moving across, like we are from AFPL, like so much about how we evaluate a player and the value we put in a player is based on, well, whether they're a bonus point magnet. And I think if you looked at the monster just past, like Fernandez, he scored the goal, so he got 8 points. Well, he's got 5 points for his goal, but he got 8 points total. Whereas if we look at FPL, it also receives 3 additional bonus points. Now, Sal only provided an assist against Southampton, but really in terms of FanTeam scoring, there was only 1 point between them rather than such a big margin in FPL. So I think we're maybe going to have to reprogram our thinking about, well, how exactly do we value players. We're maybe going to have to move away from that old mindset of looking at kind of people being bonus point magnets because it doesn't factor in this game.
Yeah, no, I think you're totally spot on. So that combination of the impact points being a factor and then the bonus points not being a factor, that does lead to quite big swings between what we might deem a good asset between FPL and FanTeam. So for me, like a real example I like is, Danny Ings from Southampton. So he typically is a bonus points monster. He scores one goal, he's going to get a 9 point return in FPL. But being in a Southampton team that's more likely to lose than not, and without that kind of bonus point appeal, suddenly that 9 points could actually only be 5 points for him. So we do really need to look at this. And I think I have a subconscious bias where there's certain players that I rate super highly because they score well on the bonus team matrix in a FPL, but that's not a factor at all in FanTeam. And we need to kind of rid ourselves of that mentality when picking our players in this game.
Definitely, I couldn't agree with you more. So, look, hopefully that run through will help improve like the novice players watching at home how they're going to approach FanTeam in the future. So, to all our viewers, I hope you enjoyed the content. Stay tuned for more coming in the near future as we head towards Euro 2020. But also check out if you see the graphic on the left hand side, check out some of the weekly articles that are appearing for FanTeam on Fantasy Football Hub.
Great. And thank you for watching us today, guys. Welcome to the first video in the series. If you enjoyed it, please drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's grow together towards this Euro 2020 big monster tournament. And we hope to catch you next time. So take care, everyone.
Thanks for watching, folks.